Pokemon's new upcoming set, Delta Rain, has been revealed, and as you're about to see in just a second, there is some serious heat in this set. Though it is funny because one question that I've seen, and probably the most common question in the hobby, which is, what is actually going to be happening to Pokemon cards after the 30th celebration? Are Pokemon cards going to crash? Will everyone leave the hobby? The list goes on and on. Though I think what's happening with Delta Rain, the quality that this set is looking to have, it does change things a fair bit. So if you haven't been kept up to date, essentially Storm Emeralda just dropped, which is the Japanese version for the set, and for the English TCG it will be Delta Rain, and it is a Rayquaza themed set. Rayquaza sets do come every so often in the TCG. Some notable ones are Roaring Skies from 2015, Celestial Storm in 2018, and Evolving Skies in 2021. Yes, believe it or not, that is a Rayquaza set. Because the evolutions seem to have taken the spotlight, everyone just now calls Evolving Skies an evolution set. Even I do it, to be honest. But no, originally, or its premise is about Rayquaza. And fun fact about Evolving Skies, when it released, everyone thought the Rayquaza VMAX would be the top chase card, but of course the Umbreon VMAX took over. Though I've seen the Rayquaza card as well, that's really made some massive gains over the last few months as well, in anticipation for the next Rayquaza themed set. But yeah, I mean, it's a big deal because we haven't had a Mega Rayquaza card since Pokemon really has upped the level on their artworks. So it's just super anticipated because Mega Rayquaza for so many people is like a top 5 Pokemon. It's one of the most loved Mega Evolutions out there. Though I want to go over the cards and talk about my thoughts and particularly what I think this set means for the hobby, especially after the 30th celebration. Alrighty, Delta Rain, some pretty cool illustration rares and SIRs from this set, have to be real. I was waiting for some high quality imagery. I saw sometimes when the cards release and they're all getting posted online, it's just real blurry images that you can see. So I'm like waiting to at least see the clear quality of the photo to kind of make my decision on what I think on the artworks and all the rest. But the first one that I want to talk about is the Masquerain illustration rare. Not really hyper realistic, but it does have a nice bokeh lighting here. One thing about the Mega Evolution era is that the illustration rares have been quite easy to buy in terms of pricing, okay? There's been certain illustration rares like the Psyduck from Ascended Heroes. So if you do love some of the illustration rares, honestly, they are pretty cost effective. And if it follows trend of what illustration rares have been priced at for the Mega Evolution era, a lot of these illustration rares will be pretty easy to pick up. Though the next cool one is the Growlithe illustration rare. Definitely one to look out for. Fits that cozy, cute vibe as well. But then again, Gen 1 Pokemon illustration rare, they can do some crazy things. One wild thing about early Scarlet and Violet era illustration rares, dude, when they released, whether it's the Riolu, whether it's the Fido, whether it's the Chinchino from Temporal Forces, man, some of these, I'm not joking, $2 when they released. Houndour illustration rare from Obsidian Flames. That was like a $2 card, okay? The climbs that they had over the long period, they were pretty big. This Growlithe is a really cool artwork as well. I definitely think in terms of illustration rares, I really love artworks like this. I think it's an awesome one. Definitely already for an illustration rare, that's S tier. Also, hey, if you have been loving the video, my name's Phil and I create content around Pokemon cards and collectibles. I'd love to have you subscribe to join the journey. What I do love about Delta Rain though, it does have pairs of certain Pokemons, which is really cool. For example, we both have here the Magmortar and Electivire, which both are somewhat of a combo of Pokemon as well. Awesome to see. I'm just gonna be talking about Magmortar first. Awesome, man. Like, check that out on the lava. Almost looks like a Dynamax on how big it is. Like, just the scale of this illustration looks really big, but great to see it. Man, I love these Pokemon. Real talk, man. Gen 4, such a classic generation for me. I remember so much, like, when I saw Magmar and Electabuzz were getting 3rd stage Evos, I was like, no way, this is insane. Awesome, nostalgic Pokemon here, but definitely Magmortar, really cool illustration rare as well. But then again, like I said, I don't think it would be anything crazy like what we can see with Pitch Black and the other illustration rares. A lot of these illustration rares, if you do want to add to your collection, they will be probably a bit more price friendly, but there is some that I don't think will be, and I'll get to those in a second. But yeah, here, Electivire, definitely a cool, different depiction of Electivire here. Great little artwork, man. And moving on to the Inkay illustration rare, I mean, Splatoon, anyone? Squid? Like, dude, that is like so Splatoon. Anyway, just, I don't know, reminds me of it. I've been playing Splatoon Raiders like crazy. But here we are with the Inkay illustration rare. It's cool, man. It's cool. It's harrowing. It's different. It's unique. really awesome. Again, the illustration rares so far from Delta Rain have been awesome. Love to see the Inkay there as well. I'm actually going to be probably adding that one to my collection. I don't know. It reminds me of Splatoon. I'm liking it. Big fan of it, to be honest. Also, I wanted to say, if you do love buying and selling Pokemon cards, I do want to speak about today's sponsor, Double Holo. So Double Holo is a Pokemon marketplace, and if you are a seller, it is fantastic as it has some insanely competitive platform fees, with it only being 4.9%. And honestly, this does make a huge difference in the long term. Though where Double Holo really separates itself is with the premium tools available. So if you've ever wondered whether a set is worth opening or if it's better left kept sealed, there actually is a tool just for that, and it's called pack value. Here it calculates the expected value and compares it against the price of the booster pack in the market. Another premium tool that comes in handy is Top Picks, and it determines the top 10 Pokemon cards to keep an eye out on right now versus the top 10 cards to avoid. I really love that Double Holo is much more than just a marketplace. Now, what's really cool though, if you do want to try out some of the premium features, you can actually use my code for a 30% discount off your first month. The details for that are all in the video's description. A big thanks to Double Holo supporting the channel. Now let's get back to the video. Though moving on, I was talking about the pairs or the sets, and the ones I want to talk about is Kyogre and Groudon. First up, Kyogre illustration rare. Dude, sick artwork. I was saying I was going to make a surfer binder. If you've watched my videos, I was saying I want to collect cards that have surfing and like things about surfing. Of course, I would be loving this card. That is a massive wave right there. Kyogre, just crazy work. Looking so good in this artwork. Really rate it, man. That is a sick illustration rare, straight up. Yeah, and in terms of what I was saying about some illustration rares being maybe a bit more price friendly, whether it's the Inkay or even Magmortar, Electivire, I think they'll be. This may be a bit harder to get, and I definitely think it will be a very desired card. Again, there is a lot to see with the special illustration rares in the set, which I'll be walking you through in a second, but man, really love this Kyogre artwork. One of the best. Honestly, it is really good. So Delta Rain, like I said, the illustration rares so far have really been a step up. And again, here we go with the Groudon. Honestly, again, another fantastic illustration rare. We now have two really awesome Groudon illustration rares, both the one from Paradox Rift and this one. Pretty much one of the best illustration rares from the whole Scarlet and Violet era. Here again, we can see with Delta Rain, I do think Kyogre and Groudon, there is a lot of nostalgia there, man. There is Gen 3 fans are big, okay? That you're probably a Gen 3 fan. I wouldn't be surprised. Like, it is a very loved generation, so nostalgic. In terms of prices, they could definitely get special illustration rare pricing, these two in particular, because like I said, man, there's a lot of nostalgia there, a lot of love for these Pokemon, man. You can't really just think that the Gen 3 fans aren't going to be coming in hot for these two Pokemon. They will be there. And again, moving on to the Azurill illustration rare. Dude, like I'm saying, just as I've been going through the set, the illustration rares are definitely something. They are fantastic. Like in terms of the illustration rares, all from Delta Rain, a lot of them have just been tick, tick, tick. It's like, we sometimes do get sets where the illustration rares are just so big in a set where almost the illustration rares overtake the SIRs in terms of how awesome they are. Paldea Evolved's a good example of that. I do think with Delta Rain, there is a lot of love to see with the illustration rares, and it's going to make the opening experience be pretty exciting because, sure, you don't have to actually hit an SIR. Just hitting the Azurill, just hitting one of the Groudons or the Kyogres, you do have a lot of cool cards to pull, even the Growlithe. There's a lot of quality what I'm seeing in the set. It's not about the quantity of this set, it's more the quality from all the artworks. And moving on to one of the coolest illustration rares in the set, the Kecleon. Dude, this is insane. This is, wow, I wouldn't be surprised to see some expensive kind of price tags on this card. Kamiya, if you know him as an artist, absolutely cool psychedelic artworks, very abstract. Brute Bonnet, Drowsy from Scarlet and Violet base. This is just on brand, and honestly, this is one of his best, man. So psychedelic, so out there. This is going to be a really desired card, man. I'm calling it. This is an artwork. This is a straight up artwork. And that's what I'm saying about this set, man. The illustration rares here. I didn't actually know that was Kamiya. I just saw it there. I'm like, who is this artist? And I was like, that must be Kamiya. And bam, I read it right then. I'm like, wow, really happy with that, man. Like, honestly, so far from what I've seen from this set, this illustration rare is probably my favorite card of the set. And it's going to be hard to top. Real talk. It's going to be hard to top. Though, moving on to the special illustration rares, of course, the top chasers that everyone loves. And as we all know, special illustration rares definitely do determine the difficulty of getting a set, the quality of everything. But if a set has high quality special illustration rares, of course, it also predicts usually its future success. And I want to go through these. The first two I want to talk about is the 2 trainer special illustration rares. But yeah, no, these 2 trainers, definitely, I don't think they're going to be too insanely expensive, to be honest. And that does matter, like hoping the prices stay down, especially for master set collectors, because if you do your master sets, sometimes you're just being like, you need that one card, you never pulled it, and it's not even a card that you really wanted for your collection, but you want it to complete your master set, and then you see the price is like 80 USD. You're like, how, why, or even 40, hoping that these stay down. Though in terms of the Pokemon, let's talk about the Mega Golisopod EX. This special illustration rare is definitely out there. We did get a really cool Golisopod special illustration rare in Paradox Rift. But in terms of this SIR, I have to say, it is giving me ultra rare full art vibes, to be honest. Or yeah, it's not actually giving me that much SIR energy, just in its initial look of it. Here I've got the Mega Golisopod, the full art ultra rare, and I'm thinking, yeah, you know what? It definitely, I don't know, for that reason, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, is that must be the ultra rare? But no, it is the special illustration rare. But in terms of that, I do think this will be an easier SIR to add to your collection. Though, here we go, the massive chase for the set, the big fella, Mega Rayquaza special illustration rare. Crazy cinematic energy, very much reminding me of a top Dragon Ball chase card. I'm not sure if anyone's already said that. That's just the first thing I saw of this card. It's reminding me of DBZ cards. Real talk. Like the first thing I saw it. But in terms of it, I don't know if I'm like going crazy over it, right? Like in terms, I actually think I prefer the Mega Darkrai from Pitch Black. In terms of that, the market is going to absolutely love this card. My opinion means pretty much nothing in terms of anything of the price. But yeah, man, I wouldn't say that I'm like, wow, like I need this card in my collection. In terms of that, I wouldn't say it's my favorite SIR for sure. No, being real. Okay, so the thing here we need to remember about Mega Rayquaza. Mega Rayquaza wasn't just another Mega Evolution. It literally became one of the defining Pokemon of the Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire era. It felt like Mega Rayquaza was literally everywhere. It was a massively popular Pokemon. But it also does raise an interesting question, which is why do some Pokemon remakes become iconic while others struggle to leave the same lasting impact, such as Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl? Well, that question I actually tackle over on my channel, Philip's Trick Room. There's a video where I rank every Pokemon remake to find out which ones really stood the test of time. You can find all the answers there. Honestly, if you love my content here, you're gonna love my channel, Philip's Trick Room. It's all in the video's description. Moving on to the Mega Golurk special illustration rare. I think it's pretty cool, man. Real talk. Awesome SIR. Don't think in terms, I do think that this and the Golisopod will probably be a little bit easier to get than some of the other special illustration rares in this set because there is some pretty high quality. Though, however, there is a special illustration rare that I am loving in this set. It is the Raikou EX SIR. This is cool, man. This is straight up sick. What an awesome artwork for Raikou. I don't even know where he is on these like Zeus Olympus mountains. It is a really cool special illustration rare. Definitely will be wanting to add this one to my collection. I'd love that, man. Like, to me, that's actually my favorite special illustration rare in the set. But I don't think anything has overtaken the Kecleon. In terms of what we are seeing with Delta Rain, the illustration rares, they're classics, man. Like there is so much quality in the illustration rares. In terms of the special illustration rares, there is a few cool cards. Mega Rayquaza, like I said, is going to be a bit polarizing. This is definitely my favorite special illustration rare, but I'm very interested to know your thoughts as well. Is there an SIR that you're loving? And of course, it would not be a Mega Revolution set without the Mega Hyper rares. Cool if you pull it. I am thrilled for you if you get it. A lot of you guys know on my channel, said it before. These, I'm not, if you pull it, I'm so happy for you, but they don't bring that energy in me. I don't know. They're just great card for the collectors for them. I think they're too difficult to pull for what you get. And it's probably a good thing as well, because I think if it was like a special illustration rare level quality artwork with those pull rates, yeah, we all know what would happen with the prices, but yeah, mega hyper rares, little bit of a gimmick thingy that's happening in the Mega Evolution era. Pretty much the most difficult Pokemon cards to pull of all time are the mega hyper rares. If you do want it in your collection, master set collectors, I feel sorry for you, because yeah, you are going to fork out quite a fair bit of money for this one in particular, because like I mentioned, Mega Rayquaza gets the fans going. It gets the people going. But yeah, I think Delta Rain is going to be a well-loved set, but it is important to research your Pokemon cards before you buy. And there is a method that I use, and it's all seen on this video on screen here. In this video on screen, I showcase the best method to researching your Pokemon sets. Click that video, you're gonna find some great info there. Appreciate you watching, and I'll see you on the next video.